Why would a single nation need two capitals? It sounds like a logistical nightmare, a political paradox, or even a historical accident. Most countries have one clear center of power, but scattered across the globe are nations that defy this norm, maintaining not one but two, sometimes even three, distinct capital cities. Is it a sign of unresolved conflicts, a clever division of power, or a unique geographical challenge? Prepare to uncover the fascinating, often surprising reasons behind dual capital cities as we dive deep into the history, politics, and unique cultures of countries living with divided hearts. Stay with us until the very end to unravel the complexities that shape these extraordinary nations. Welcome to Young Curiosity, where we unravel the mysteries that shape our world. If you're fascinated by global quirks and political puzzles, you're in the right place. Please take a moment to smash that like button, subscribe to Young Curiosity for more mind-bending insights, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring these incredible topics to life. First, let's understand why a country might even consider having two capitals. It's usually not a simple choice. These arrangements often stem from deep-seated historical, geographical, or political reasons. One common driver is historical compromise. Imagine two powerful cities in a newly formed nation, each with its own legacy, proud elite, and economic dominance. To avoid a civil war or an ongoing power struggle, the solution might be to split the capital functions between them. This appeases both sides and allows for a more peaceful unification. For example, a country might designate a legislative capital where the parliament meets and laws are made, and a separate administrative or executive capital where the president or prime minister resides and the day-to-day governance happens. This division prevents any single urban center from accumulating excessive power, promoting a more balanced distribution of influence across regions. Another significant reason is geographical convenience or strategic development. Sometimes a country's long-established historical capital might be located in an extreme corner of its territory, far from the majority of the population, crucial natural resources, or evolving economic centers. To promote national unity, ensure fairer regional representation, or stimulate economic development in a less prosperous area, a new capital might be designated or governmental functions strategically split. This helps distribute political power and economic activity more evenly across the nation, fostering a sense of inclusion among diverse populations. It can also be a pragmatic way to manage rapid population growth and urban congestion in an existing capital, or to decentralize government functions to improve overall efficiency and accessibility for citizens across the country. Let's look at South Africa, a compelling and complex example with not two but three capital cities. This truly unique arrangement is a direct and poignant legacy of its intricate history and the crucial compromises forged during its formation. Pretoria serves as the executive capital, housing the president and the cabinet, overseeing the day-to-day administration of the government. Cape Town is the legislative capital, home to the parliament, where laws are debated and enacted. And Bloemfontein holds the judicial capital, housing the Supreme Court of Appeal. This deliberate distribution of power was a fundamental compromise reached in 1910 when the Union of South Africa was formed, meticulously balancing the often conflicting interests of different provinces and historical states, thereby preventing any single city from becoming overly dominant. It was a complex solution to a profoundly complex political puzzle, intricately reflecting the country's diverse ethnic and deeply rooted historical backgrounds. Which of South Africa's capitals would you visit first and why? Tell us below. Another fascinating case is Bolivia, which also maintains two distinct capital cities, La Paz and Sucre. Sucre is formally recognized as the official constitutional capital and the revered seat of the judiciary, holding a rich and significant colonial history that resonates deeply with the nation's past. However, La Paz, dramatically situated high in the rugged Andes Mountains, functions as the de facto administrative and legislative capital, where the active government and national parliament are primarily located. This dual arrangement dates back to a tumultuous civil war in the late 19th century, a conflict that pitted the more conservative historical elites of Sucre against the rapidly booming economic and political aspirations of La Paz. The compromise reached allowed both cities to retain significant political functions, albeit with La Paz taking on the bulk of the daily governmental operations and legislative work. This enduring division vividly reflects the ongoing historical tensions and powerful regional identities that persist within the country, shaping its political landscape. Then there's Malaysia, which offers a more modern illustration of the dual capital concept. Its federal administrative center is located in Putrajaya, a meticulously planned city designed and constructed entirely from scratch beginning in the 1990s. In contrast, Kuala Lumpur remains the vibrant national capital and the traditional legislative seat, serving as the country's economic and cultural heart. The strategic decision to create a new administrative capital in Putrajaya was primarily driven by the urgent need to alleviate severe traffic congestion, overpopulation, and strain on infrastructure in the rapidly expanding Kuala Lumpur. It stands as a contemporary example of governmental decentralization, meticulously aimed at improving governmental efficiency and establishing a modern, purpose-built hub exclusively for state affairs. This allows Kuala Lumpur to continue its dynamic growth as a commercial, cultural, and financial powerhouse, unburdened by the daily administrative grind of the federal government. Sometimes unique geopolitical factors or the very process of a country's historical formation lead to such unusual capital arrangements. For example, the Netherlands presents a long-standing historical division. Amsterdam is its constitutional and ceremonial capital, renowned globally for its cultural vibrancy, but The Hague is the actual seat of government, parliament, and the Supreme Court. This historical separation originated centuries ago and reflects a gradual evolution of governance and power dynamics rather than a single, abrupt decision. Similarly, Chile has Santiago as its bustling capital, but its legislative body convenes in Valparaiso. This arrangement was partly due to Valparaiso's historical importance as a major port city and a strategic desire to decentralize some government functions away from the concentrated power of Santiago, aiming for more regional balance. Maintaining dual or multiple capitals is not without its significant challenges. The most prominent issue is often cost. Operating government offices, housing politicians and civil servants, and maintaining duplicate infrastructure in two or more separate cities can be astronomically expensive, leading to budget strains. It inherently duplicates resources, requires constant and costly travel between locations for officials, and can introduce considerable inefficiencies into governmental processes. There can also be complex logistical hurdles with various government departments and their personnel spread across different cities, potentially slowing down crucial decision-making and interdepartmental coordination. Furthermore, while intended to foster balance, dual capitals can sometimes inadvertently create confusion or even exacerbate rivalry between the cities or within the broader population regarding where the true center of national power and identity lies. This can occasionally intensify regional tensions rather than alleviate them. Despite these inherent challenges, countries with dual capitals often view these arrangements as necessary, pragmatic, or even ultimately beneficial. They can serve as powerful symbols of national unity, achieved through delicate political compromise, effectively preventing the overconcentration of political and economic power in one single urban center. They can also strategically help stimulate regional development by deliberately distributing governmental functions and associated economic activity more evenly across diverse parts of the nation. For many of these countries, the deeply rooted historical or complex political reasoning behind the capital split far outweighs the practical difficulties and financial costs involved. These unique arrangements are often deeply ingrained in the national identity and political fabric, having evolved organically over many decades or even centuries to reflect the country's unique trajectory. Do you think having two capitals makes a country stronger or weaker? Share your opinion. As the world continues to urbanize at an unprecedented rate and political landscapes evolve with new challenges, the concept of dual or multiple capitals might even become increasingly relevant. For rapidly growing nations grappling with issues like urban congestion, overpopulation, and the need for decentralized development, splitting government functions could emerge as a strategic and viable way to manage these pressures and distribute economic opportunities more equitably. For countries characterized by deep historical or cultural regional divides, a carefully managed dual capital system might offer a compelling path to achieving and maintaining essential national cohesion. These nations, with their dual capitals, stand as living testaments to the complex interplay of history, geography, diverse regional identities, and intricate political negotiation, constantly balancing tradition with the evolving demands of modern governance. Their dual capitals are not merely abstract lines on a map, but vibrant, dynamic symbols of enduring compromise and distinct national identities, reflecting a nuanced approach to power and unity in the 21st century.